Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to our Thursday evening training. I hope this finds you well wherever you are joining us from, whether here on our continent of Africa or further afield. It is a great pleasure for me once again to spend this Thursday evening with you. And I hope that you're going to find today's session beneficial for your business and for yourself in order to better position yourself in helping those whom we come across. As you might have seen from your invite for today, my session is going to be a Q&A once again. And for those of you who are joining us maybe for the first time, let me introduce myself. My name is Betty Olo, a long-time Neolife distributor. Always very pleased to be able to spend time with you, speaking about the questions that many of you share with us about the issues they are coming across as they go about doing the business. So let me invite you this evening to relax and spend the next 1 hour with us as we go through the sessions. So the first question that I'd like to start with is a leftover from a week or two ago. And this is someone who wanted to know what to recommend for cancer. And as usual, our answers are always in two sections: the lifestyle changes that someone can make or add to their way of life, and also how the supplements can help. And remember that we call our products supplements because they supplement the lifestyle steps that we make in order to improve our health. So in the case of cancer, of course, this is a dreaded diagnosis. But we do still advocate that not to give up hope, but to ensure healthy lifestyle habits. So opt for healthy proteins in the diet as well as healthy fats, and eliminate problem foods such as sugar, such as factory fats, and also refined carbohydrates. I think there has been a query about what I mean by factory fats. And these are the fats which are made by manipulating certain foodstuffs chemically in order to chemically extract fats from them. It requires a lot of processing and a lot of heat, and that means that by the time the fat is brought to you, it can cause quite a number of health issues. So we do not recommend them. We recommend rather healthier fat options, such as from foods that normally make fat themselves and are easily extracted. We are thinking about things like coconut, olive oil. We are thinking about things like ghee and so on. So then on the supplement side, we recommend Phytodefense, which is our combination of phytonutrients extracted from different types of plants, plant foods and fruits, vegetables, and so on. And this assists the body in fighting against cancer. Then we also recommend omega-3 salmon oil that helps resolve inflammation, and Neolife shake in order to assist the body in tissue generation. So once because here the person did not indicate whether it's a new diagnosis or the person has already started undergoing chemotherapy and other therapies. So this recommendation is for someone who is maybe got an initial diagnosis. And what we recommend is that once they have undergone chemo, they should also use Betagard, which helps to detox the body from the effects of chemo. Then the next question was one that I received very often some time ago, and it seems like it's back. And this is how to supplement for collagen. And just to mention that a lot of people inquire about collagen, not because they want stronger tissues or cartilage, but because they are concerned about hair growth or wrinkles on the skin. And just to say that our body makes collagen for our tissues, and we cannot determine where it's going to prioritize the use of the collagen. So in Neolife, we do not have a collagen supplement. What we do have is a Neolife shake, which contains the full spectrum of amino acids that we require in building collagen. And then we leave it to the body to decide where it is going to lay the collagen. The body will prioritize the greatest need. And then in addition to Neolife Shake, we'll recommend vitamin C, because vitamin C is essential for the making of collagen. So for those who are inquiring from you about what to use for, if they're thinking about collagen, maybe for tissues or for skin or for hair and so on, we cannot say that by using our Neolife shake or any collagen supplement for that matter, we are going to be sure that the body will use it for growing healthier or more luxuriant hair, or that is going to get rid of wrinkles, because that is up to the body to prioritize. But what we can recommend is Neolife Shake as well as vitamin C, and these supplements together with a diet with good proteins. There are many dietary items that are proteins that can help our bodies to get all the amino acids that it requires to make collagen. So the supplements will be Neolife Shake and vitamin C, and then also a diet that has got good proteins. And from there, of course, if someone is thinking about things like wrinkles or luxuriant hair growth depends a lot on genetics and the manipulation the hair has undergone. And the same will apply to a great degree to our skin. How early we wrinkle will depend on what has happened to our skin, exposures, and so on. And also our ethnicity. So for us who are of African descent, our skin tends to be more robust towards wrinkles. And with using good skin care and being well hydrated and eating a healthy diet, we can maintain good skin, good wrinkle-free or supple skin well into our middle years and the earlier parts of our older years. So the next question, someone wanted me to mention the benefits of full motion, which I like this question because it's always good to be well informed about the way in which our supplements are beneficial. So full motion is one of the ones we often recommend, especially for things like osteoarthritis and skeletal health. This is because it helps in rebuilding things like cartilage and restoring joint health. So the first thing I would like to say about full motion is that it supplies preformed glucosamine. So glucosamine is a nutrient that supports cartilage production. Cartilage is the white substance that we normally have on the heads of bones, on the ends of bones. It is slippery and smooth, and its work is to make sure that our joints are flexible and able to perform well. So glucosamine supports cartilage production. That is one of the things that full motion provides. Another thing, number two, is that it contains nutrients that inhibit the enzymes that speed up cartilage destruction. An illness like osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis usually is associated with the destruction of cartilage on the ends of the bones, and this usually ends in causes our joints to be painful, and loss of flexibility follows afterwards. So full motion contains nutrients that inhibit the enzymes that speed up cartilage destruction. Number three, full motion also provides a herbal blend that resolves inflammation, which is associated with these joint issues, the swelling and the pain that results from inflammation. And then number four, full motion also provides micronutrients, nutrients, mineral types that support joint tissue regeneration. So contrary to what we might think, our joints are supposed to last a lifetime. And so given the right conditions and the right nutrients, this damage can be regenerated, especially if we take care of what is causing the destruction of our joints. It could be an autoimmune issue, as in the case of rheumatoid arthritis, or it could be previous injuries where the joint has not healed well or has become misaligned. This can be what is driving the joint issues. And then number five of the things full motion provides us with is that it is formulated for maximum bioavailability. So one thing we often might not think of telling our clients is that not everything that appears on the shelf as a supplement is of great use, not because it does not contain what it says it has, but because it contains it in a formulation that our bodies cannot absorb and benefit from. So if we take something which we cannot absorb, it means that it will simply go through our system and come out the other end. That is why when we speak about bioavailability, it is important, because it means that what you are going to get from full motion is actually going to be available to your body's system and will be absorbed and used for the purpose for which we are recommending it. So those are the 5 points I would raise about full motion. So just to recap, supplies preformed glucosamine, which helps and supports cartilage production. It also contains nutrients that inhibit the enzymes that speed up cartilage destruction, which means it slows down the rate of destruction of the joint. And then the herbal blend it contains helps resolve inflammation, which causes pain and discomfort in the joints. It also has micronutrients that support tissue regeneration in the joint. And finally, each of these items are maximally bioavailable, which means that when we take them in, the body will recognize them as useful nutrients, absorb them, and put them to work in restoring our joint health. Then moving on to the next question was about an autoimmune illness that caused a teenager to collapse. And autoimmune illnesses, unfortunately, are becoming more and more common, even here on our continent of Africa. And so it's a cause for concern, and it's good for us to recommend some of these lifestyle ideas so that people are aware that there are things that we do that aggravate our immune system and causes it to attack our tissues. And the first is that we should avoid processed foods. These excessively processed foods are not our friends nutritionally. They cause a lot of problems in our system. So rather, let us opt for traditional, minimally processed foods. And then we also recommend fermented foods from our cultures. Most cultures that exist had some 1 or 2 types of foods that they ate in a fermented form, whether it is here or in European cultures and so on. Almost every culture that has been studied has shown that they had some kind of food that they ate in a fermented form. Some would be fermented milk, some would be fermented vegetables like the German cabbage that is called sauerkraut. In our own cultures, amongst my people, there was a way of fermenting green vegetables using fermented milk, and so on. So there are many types of fermented foods, and these ones are very important for our gut health. So to combat autoimmune illnesses, gut health is of crucial importance. So let us go back to our cultures and investigate those fermented foods and gradually reintegrate them into our diet in order to support our gut microbiome and therefore our gut health. Then we also recommend bone broth and soups, another food that is common in almost all cultures, where bones were often boiled and drank as a broth or used to make soups with vegetables and so on. Also very useful for gut health. Then we recommend eliminating sugar, junk food, factory fats. Sorry, there was a glitch there for just a moment. All right, I beg your pardon, there was a bit of a glitch there, but we can carry on. So eliminate sugar, junk food, factory fats, and problem foods. There are certain people who have got low tolerance or are intolerant of certain foods such as wheat, especially the modern types of wheat, dairy, and nightshade plants, that is the tomato, potatoes, and brinjal family of food. So you may need to eliminate this and see if it improves the autoimmune issues. In addition to that, the supplements from Neolife that we recommend will be Pro Vitality, chelated zinc, and vitamin A plus D. And if you have it in your market, you can also add acidophilus. But as I've said before, if you do not have acidophilus in your market, you can opt for fiber tablets or multifiber blend. And this, together with our fermented food, is going to do the work of reinvigorating your gut microbiome, which refers to the friendly microbes that live in our guts and helps our immune system to do its work and to become more stable so that it does not attack our body's tissues. Then we have another question about fibroids. So fibroids, another distressing one, which has become more common in recent times. And here again, the first recommendation in the lifestyle side is to clean up the diet and do a detox, both of our homes and ourselves, so we can maybe take up the detox program from Neolife, or if you're unaware of this, you can inquire from the person who invited you, that we have a detox program that helps our bodies to reduce its toxin load. And I think last week we had a session about detoxing our homes. We recommended things like avoiding heating foods in the microwave in plastic containers, as far as possible using glass and enamel for storage of our foods. And this is because plastics are becoming problematic. They lead to some hormonal disruptions in our systems, one of which can result in the fibroids that we are speaking about in this question. So detox your home and your diet and yourself. Remove things from your diet that can be contributing to the toxin load in your body and upsetting your hormonal balance, which leads to unwanted growths, one of which is fibroids. And then use also Neolife nutrients that help in combating these unwanted growths. This is Cruciferous Plus, Herbal Feminine Complex, Beta Guard, and if the fibroids are accompanied by heavy bleeding, we'll also recommend multimineral alfalfa to replenish the minerals that are required in making blood. So Cruciferous Plus, Herbal Feminine Complex, Beta Guard, and multimineral alfalfa. Then the next question was what can be used to boost hemoglobin levels? So if the blood count shows that there is a low blood count, it's good to get to the reason why the blood count is low. Sometimes there's an underlying illness that could be causing this, but also if someone is undergoing chemotherapy, it can cause a drop in blood levels. So on the lifestyle side, therefore, my first recommendation is to investigate the root cause with the help of your doctor or your labs. And then also ensure that your diet has got plenty of good proteins, for example, meat, fish, legumes, and so on, to make sure you have got the nutrients required to build up your tissues, of which blood is one of them. And then once maybe you have done that, if there is a root cause, you can attend to whatever the root cause turns out to be. So, for example, as you know, in our case, our son has got sickle cell anemia, which causes low blood levels. But in this one, we know that it is a genetic cause, but there may be other reasons. It could be an illness. It could be maybe a stage that someone is going through. So do investigate why there is a drop in hemoglobin levels. And then on the Neolife side, we'll recommend multimineral alfalfa. However, if it is a sickle cell anemia, we do not recommend multimineral alfalfa, rather use multi. And this is because iron supplementation is not recommended for people who have got sickle cell anemia, and it's better to use multi. And then the other supplements, of which we'll recommend vitamin C or flavonoid complex, and also vitamin B complex, another one that is important for the making of blood. Then another question was to do with diabetes accompanied by anemia. So often people with diabetes may also notice they become anemic. And the first thing we recommend is to deal with the diabetes because it is likely that it is driving the anemia. And the first thing on the lifestyle side is to drastically reduce carbohydrates, especially refined carbohydrates and grains, and eliminate things like sugar and factory fats because these are the drivers of type 2 diabetes especially. We also recommend that you monitor blood sugar regularly just to be aware of what is happening with your blood sugar levels, and opt for plenty of meat and fish and healthy fats in the diet while avoiding refined carbohydrates and sugar drinks and so on. And then Neolife is going to assist here. We'll recommend botanical balance to help manage the sugar levels. And then we also recommend N to help the cells become more sensitive to insulin. Then we recommend multimineral alfalfa to help with the anemia and vitamin, as well as vitamin B complex. So 4 recommendations there, 2 of them to deal with the diabetes and 2 to deal with the anemia. So we have botanical balance, we have N, we have multimineral alfalfa and vitamin B complex. Then the next question was a condition called a type of cancer that is called plasmablastic lymphoma. So it's a cancer that affects the I forget this. Anyway, it's a form of lymphoma, and it's linked to a suppressed immune system. For example, what might result from HIV. And what we need to do here is to support the immune system through a healthy diet, good movement, and adequate sleep. So to support our immune system through our lifestyle, which will have a healthy diet, adequate movement within our in our lifestyle, and also prioritizing a minimum of 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Then there's, again, as with other cancers, our first supplement that we recommend from Neolife will be phytodefense. We'll also recommend vitamin A plus D. We recommend vitamin B complex. And if the appetite is poor or the person is maybe undergoing maybe chemotherapy or other kinds of stressful treatment, we recommend Neolife Shake in order to help them to rebuild their tissue. So phytodefense, vitamin A plus D, recommend B complex, and Neolife Shake. Then the next question was one I think we had in the last, maybe last month sometime, was foot pain, also known as plantar fasciitis, which is pain on the part of the foot just in front of the heel. And this can be caused by tight calf muscles, which can result from prolonged wearing of high-heeled shoes, or it can be due to injury or a problematic gait if someone has got a way of walking that aggravates the small joints in the foot. So for that reason, our first recommendation would be to consult a physiotherapist so they can advise about massages and exercises to help the feet and also to stretch and relax the calf muscle so that it loosens up and movement becomes more comfortable and does not cause that inflammation in the foot that causes the foot pain. Then we also recommend from Neolife omega-3 salmon oil, which is going to help to ease up the inflammation in the foot. We recommend flavonoid complex and vitamin A plus D. So those are our recommended, or if you are a vegan or vegetarian, you can opt for vegan D, which also will supply us with vitamin D. Then the next question was someone wanted to know what to do about high cholesterol. And on the lifestyle side for this question, we recommend increase activity in the lifestyle. For example, take a 15-minute walk after meals in order to improve blood health. We also recommend quitting habits such as smoking tobacco and use of alcohol, because by the time you are noticing problems with your cholesterol, it could be time to get rid of bad habits that aggravate ill health. Then we also recommend opting for minimally processed food as a majority of your diet, because processed foods and junk foods have got unhealthy fats which contribute to the unhealthy cholesterol in the blood. Then from the Neolife side, we recommend omega-3 salmon oil, an example of healthy fats. We also recommend garlic allium, plays an important role in blood health, together with lipotropic adjunct. So for high cholesterol, it's omega-3 salmon oil, garlic allium complex, and lipotropic adjunct. Then the next question, someone wanted to know what to recommend for amoebiasis. Again, this is a microbial infection that result from ingesting contaminated food or water. So we had this question again some weeks ago. And just to be aware that if you are exposed to contaminated food or water, you can get this infection. And my first recommendation would be, of course, to be careful about food preparation if you're eating away from your home or drinking water from unknown sources. To just be aware, it would be a good thing to boil the water, or in the case of food, to make sure the food is well cooked and heated. And then also to consult a doctor for antimicrobial medicines to ensure that the germs causing the amoebiasis are dealt with, so that they do not stay in the system or hide in the liver, which can actually happen. So consult a doctor to get medicines. You'll need this because this is an infection. And then be careful about the food that you take, because that is the source of the infection. Keep well hydrated while suffering from amoebiasis, because it does tend to cause diarrhea. And that means that you can easily become dehydrated. So keep well hydrated. Neolife is going to help in the recovery, as well as ensuring that any microbes that are lacking behind are dealt with. We'll recommend garlic allium complex. We recommend flavonoids, as well as vitamin A plus D, or adequate sun exposure. Then the next question, someone wanted to know what to recommend for acne. So acne is a skin inflammation that can cause pimples and breakouts. And this, the first lifestyle recommendation will be eliminate problem foods such as sugar, processed, and junk foods, and also avoid harsh skincare products because they aggravate the skin, causing it to become more inflamed. So rather opt for the nutrients range, which is mild and well formulated to support your skin health. We'll recommend from Neolife vitamin A plus D, chelated zinc from the nutritional supplement. And then we also recommend aloe vera gel, which helps to resolve the inflammation in the skin, and will help to heal the breakouts from the acne. Then for a cleanser, recommend gentle makeup remover, which is a very mild cleanser that does a good job of cleansing your skin without aggravating it. Remember, I think I've mentioned this before, if you use a harsh cleanser, the skin becomes more inflamed and becomes more oily, and the problem is just exacerbated. So a gentle cleanser such as gentle makeup remover is very good for acne, and aloe vera gel is an ancient time-tested skincare ingredient that will help the healing of the skin. Then I see that the time is getting away from me. I'll tackle one more question, and we'll leave the others for the next session. So the next question was seasonal allergies, what to do about seasonal allergies. And I think this is probably someone coming from our part of Africa, where we are going into spring. In a town like Pretoria, there are lots of flowers everywhere. And because we have not had any rains, there is a lot of dust. So people who tend to have allergies can have a tough time of it. because seasonal allergies are usually due to certain types of pollen to which some people react. So a lifestyle recommendation can be to rinse the eyes and nose after being outside in order to remove any of as much of the pollen and dust that you may have been exposed to. And then certain foods are noticed to worsen the symptoms of seasonal allergies in some people. So you may be one of them. Try eliminating dairy and wheat from your diet and see if it eases up the symptoms. Flavonoid complex is going to be helpful for seasonal allergies, as well as omega-3 salmon oil and herbal respiratory complex. So those would be the recommendation from the supplements: flavonoids, omega-3 salmon oil, and herbal respiratory complex for those with seasonal allergies to supplement some of the lifestyle things. If the problem is very severe, you can also consult a doctor. In order, certain labs are able to identify the types of pollen that is causing the allergies and help to inoculate a person against them. So if you have this available for you, you can investigate being desensitized to pollen, because some people, especially young people, can have very severe allergies that can reduce the quality of life. The flavonoids, omega-3, and herbal respiratory complex would also help. They are slower acting, but together with the lifestyle points will help your body to deal better with seasonal allergies. So as the time I see is up, I want to thank you very much for having spent the time and your data joining us today. I hope that you have found this part of the session useful. If you had asked the question, if we did not touch on your questions, I want to encourage you to join us next time. Remember, every other week we tend to have a Q&A session so that we bring your questions for the session for us to share with others who may also find that they are coming across the same type of issues. So for now, let me wish you the best in this new month of October, as we are winding very rapidly towards the end of 2024, but yet still time for us to kick into high gear. And I hope you are enjoying our end of year activities that are full of interesting experiences. And now let me hand you over to Pascal, who is ready to take you through the business part of today's session. Thank you very much, and all the best in your efforts.
Thank you very much, Bailey, for those questions. I can see on the chat box there are many comments and questions. We will review this, then we'll forward it to Betty to tackle in the next Q&A session. So the session I want to share with you this evening has got to do with a very important item of our business. Just a moment. Three things. One is following up. Last week we did Last week we did a session on how the sponsoring process. Sponsoring process simply means that we learn how to get a new person to join our business. But once you've written down a name list, you have invited somebody to see the business, they've attended the business presentation, and then some haven't quite made up their minds, some haven't, or some have. The next thing which I want to discuss with you is how to do the follow-up. They say the fortune is in the follow-up. Why? Because the average person needs 4 to 6 exposures before they make a decision either to become a distributor or to buy your products. Now, what is the following up process? Following up process simply means you honor what you promised. If you've got a prospect who has attended the meeting and they tell you, I've seen the business, I like the idea, but let me think about it. An important thing to do is for every meeting that you have, make sure you set up a meeting for the next event. And the next event could be to follow up. Says, okay, can I call you in a day or two to check where you are, or if you need any clarifications? Most people want to leave it open. You as a distributor, it's important for you to diarize when you're going to call the person again. You say something like, Can I call you in 2 days' time? Or today is Thursday, can I call you on Monday evening or Sunday evening? To get an idea of where you are in terms of making a decision. So following up, just make sure you have a diary. If you say you call somebody on Monday evening or Monday afternoon, whatever time it is, put it in a diary, and at that time, call the person to find out what they have decided. A very important thing in sales, in our business, most people don't make their decisions immediately. I know some people who have been followed up for years before they actually decided to join the business. I remember the story of one of the most successful distributors in this business, Louis Smith. He's a South African, but now he does his business in the US. His wife attended the meeting. I don't know whether his wife or both of them attended the meeting, and their sponsor kept on calling them to find out if they've made a decision. Andy Murray called them so many times until Louis Smith got so fed up with constant calls and said, tell the guy to come and we'll sign the form and give him the money, and so that we get get him off our backs. Okay, so it's very important for you to have a system of following up. Some people will say no now. No doesn't mean actually no, they're not interested in the business. Either they're not interested in the business now, or they haven't seen the value in the products, or their life situation is such that they're comfortable. And something, in fact, I remember one of the reasons why Louis Smith joined the business. He was a farmer, and he would do almost 200 cartons of tomatoes a day, something like that. And one time, one of his drivers had an accident with a truck that was carrying tomatoes, and that really almost wiped him off. So you never know when or who is going to say yes to a business. So don't give up on anybody at all. Even if they say no now, ask them the permission. Okay, maybe this is not the right time for you to join. Can I call you in a month or two? Can I call you in 3 weeks' time to see where things are? The important thing is to keep communicating with your prospect. Number 3, which is a very important thing, condense the exposures for better results. What does that mean? It simply means that when you've shown the business to a prospect, they haven't said yes, they haven't said no. It's important that you always set up a meeting for the next exposure. And condensing the exposure simply means you spend a short time with them, either by answering their questions or giving them a tool for them to look at. The more you condense the exposure, it means that you can show or have exposure to different people in a very short space of time. The other thing about following up is objections. You will always have people with objections in our business. The objections can be very many. Is this a pyramid scheme? I don't have time. Your products are too expensive. Oh, I joined this business and I never succeeded. Or I saw somebody who started and never made any money. People have got all sorts of reasoned objections towards the business. I know one of them that some of distributors are very afraid of hearing. Is this network marketing? You see, when somebody asks you a question like that, it means they've had contact with either a distributor or they have had somebody who joined and never succeeded. If you get such a question, ask, oh, I see you have a story about network marketing. Tell me what happened. Okay, so there are different types of objections, but they can all be narrowed down only to 2 issues. One is the prospect's limited belief in themselves. That means that they don't believe that they can succeed in our business. The other one is the limited belief in the industry or in the network marketing profession. Okay, so these two objections, all the other objections can be narrowed down to only those 2 issues. People will say they don't have the time. Truly speaking, if somebody says you don't have the time, it's it is not wise to argue with them about it. Why? Because everybody has 24 hours. That's one. Two, people find time for things they're interested in and they're convinced it brings them value. So if somebody says, I don't have time, maybe it's appropriate to ask, when you say you don't have time, is it because of your work or because of, explain what you mean when you say you don't have time. Then they explain, another way you can ask them, if I showed you a way to use your time effectively, are you open to look at it? That simply means they need to learn how to manage their time, or they need to learn how to manage their activities. Some people would say, I don't have the money to start. Well and good. When I hear such a complaint, I don't have money to start, I said, I know how you feel, because that way I used to feel that way before. When we started, I didn't have money. I had to write a check and ask my bank manager to honor the check. So there's so many answers you can give to the prospects, but a very important principle is, number one, you need to detach yourself emotionally from the outcome of what the prospect will say. That simply means that you need to have the right posture, whether the person says yes or no. The second thing about objections is, don't argue with your prospect. If they say something, just agree with them. Yes, maybe that's the way you look at it, but I have a different strategy for it that can help you sort out that challenge. So handling objections take time. Handling objections requires you to be detached emotionally from the outcome, but it also requires you to really understand what the prospect is saying. Because behind the objection, there's something else. Either they're afraid or they're not willing to tell you really what they're going through. So once you've gone through the objection issue, there are 4 questions that will help you close the prospect. 1, once the prospect has seen the business idea, the question to ask, did the business make sense, or the presentation make sense to you? You are checking if they actually understood. Admittedly, there are very many people who join the business without really understanding how the business works. I have met very many people who join. I remember when we joined the business and we went to do a presentation in Lesotho. We did a presentation, and when we finished, one of my friends told me, Pascal, I didn't join the business because I understood what you said. I joined because I saw you are excited about this thing. Okay? So the next question, what did you like most about the business or about the product? That question is framed that way so that you can direct the prospect to only look for the positive they saw in the presentation. I would recommend, don't ask the prospect what they think. They are most likely going to tell you something negative. Ask the prospect, what did you like most about the presentation? That will direct their mind to look at something positive they saw in the presentation, either the business or the products. Then the next question, do you see yourself achieving your dreams through our business? And a very important question to ask there also is, what income level would it make it worthwhile for you to get committed to start the business? Remember, you're asking this question so that the prospect can actually determine in their mind what income would actually drive them to make the decision to start. What income level would you be willing, would you want to reach in order to make it worthwhile for you to do the business? Once they've given you a figure, the next question is this. To earn X amount of money, let me say X amount of dollars per month in the business, how much time would you be willing to put aside per week to do the business? You ask those 2 questions. One is that what income level would it make it worthwhile for them? Number 2, How much time are they willing to put aside to make sure this becomes true? If somebody says, I would like about $10,000 a month, and they say, I'll put 2 hours a week, it's up to you to say, well, 2 hours a week of doing the business, I don't think you will reach that level of income. You need to bring them to the reality of building our business. 10 to 12 hours a week, yes. Not within 1 or 2 months. They can reach 10,000 in 18 months, 2 years, 3 years. You need to give them a reality of what it takes to build a business. Once you've gone this question and answer process and they say, okay, I think I want to try the business. Next question is, this is the application form. How do you want to pay for your business starter kit? By M-Pesa or deposit in the bank and you give me a slip, then we'll get you started in the business. That is a follow-up process. It requires you to be systematic and to be very patient. As most of you are aware of this business, in fact, of all the businesses I've come across, it is to your own benefit for you to be patient, both with yourself and with your prospects. Because you can't afford to be impatient and snap at your prospect. If a prospect tells you, oh, okay, next week I'm going to join. Next week comes and they say no. Don't tell your prospect, but last week you said you're going to join this week. Don't do that. Don't antagonize your prospect. You need to be very prudent the way you answer or handle your prospects. The next thing I wanted to discuss with you is the power of events. How to promote events. There's a very simple idea in our business. In Neolife, events or meetings make money. It's as simple as that. Why am I saying that? Because when people go for events, when people go for large meetings, their mind opens up to what the business can actually do for them. It's with the modern technology, for example, now I'm talking to over 250 people, different countries. Technology has allowed us to do this. But when you go to an event and you meet people face to face, person to person, you hear a different story. It completely changes the way a distributor thinks about this business. The most powerful or effective event is called the destiny event. What is a destiny event? A destiny event is an event that a distributor has to travel some distance to go to attend the event. And number two, there are very many people who attend the event. For example, weekend function, the annual Neolife convention, the World Team meeting, for example, the meeting we're going to have next year in Cape Town, the leadership school. There was a very exciting leadership school in Mombasa for the East African region. These are called destiny events that take you away from your normal environment to a different place where you're surrounded with positive, ambition, and excited people. If Betty and I look back on how our business has grown, Destiny Event has made a very critical role in the growth of our business. We started in March 1996. In July, we attended the first leadership weekend function. That's when things for me, the penny really dropped. I saw 4,000 excited people. I saw people going on stage, 3 Ruby directors. That's the first time I saw Charlie Bolton, 5 Diamond directors. I mean, the stories were just fantastic. I was so excited in that meeting. I started collecting names of people who were sitting beside me until Betty whispered in my ear and said, Pascal, all these people are in the business. Don't take their phone numbers. Okay, so those events really make a difference. Why do they make a difference? Because you meet positive atmosphere, and the people you meet really want to change their lives. But another thing that happened for me is stories you hear that transform your life. Some of the things that people say in those meetings, some of them go straight to your heart and makes a difference in your life. For example, the first time I heard Charlie saying this, When you're going through challenges, remember this too shall pass. That stayed with me. And when you feel discouraged, when you speak to prospects, when you try, remember Betty and I traveled one time from Pretoria to Botswana, which is about 370 kilometers. Even our distributor who was supposed to host our meeting disappeared. And we drove back to Pretoria. The only thing that kept us going, this too shall pass. Whenever you're going through challenges, make that statement in your mind, this too shall pass. Another statement that I had in a weekend function is, if it's to be, it's up to me. It simply means if something is to change, you are the one who has to change. You are the one who needs to take complete responsibility for your business. Another very important thing which I learned from Charlie, he was saying, your success is directly linked to the number of people in your team who attend this event. And a very good one to help you build a correct structure. If there's a big meeting coming, make sure you have at least, if you are serious, if you've reached director, or even if you're a senior manager, executive manager, each event, make sure you have at least 7 to 8 or more different legs attending that meeting. Why? If you get 2 or 3 people in different legs who make a commitment and see the bigger picture, you're laying the foundation for becoming a world team member. Okay, I see somebody is very excited, is drawing things on our screen. Let me just remove that for a few minutes. Okay, so the number of people in your team who attend meetings directly affect your success. Why? There are some things you're going to tell people in your team. Some will listen, some won't listen. Somebody in that event will say exactly the same thing that you said, but people will accept and embrace it, understand it differently. The same thing you said. Okay? So your success is directly linked to the number of people who attend this event. A very important principle. Be the first to book your ticket. If you want the people to join, to attend meetings or to attend these functions, make sure you have booked your ticket yourself, and then call people in your. Remember, people don't make decisions immediately. They take time. So keep calling them, keep finding out if you're going for the meeting, if they're having challenges in getting transport, accommodation, or somebody to look after their children. Give them ideas. Give them ideas to attend the function. The meeting will do most of the work. The most important thing is to make sure that your people attend functions. So be a promoter, not an event announcer. A promoter simply means you first, you make a commitment to go yourself. Number 2, you keep reminding the people in your team the usefulness of this event. And then the last thing I want to discuss with you is building your self-belief. Before I share a few ideas with you, just by a show of hands, how many of you have felt discouraged? Sorry, somebody is trying to take notes. I will go back to this to the presentation. How many of you have felt discouraged the last 3 months in the business? Just put up your hand. Let me see how many people have felt discouraged in the business for some time. At least I see one person has gone through discouraging. How many of you have felt discouraged for one reason or another, whatever it is? Either the prospect you spoke to disappointed you, you haven't reached the PV that you wanted, anything that has happened to you, whatever it is. I can tell you also that I'm also lifting up my hand. All right? So thank you very much. Most all of you who have been very sincere about this business, everybody goes through that process of being discouraged. Why? Because the vision you're holding and what you're seeing on the outside do not match. That is what creates tension in your being. That is what discourages you. So if I may go back to the All right, the person who was taking notes about the events. 3 things. I mean, 6 things I would like. Number 1, in Neolife, meetings or events make money. Number 2, the most powerful or effective event are the destiny events. A destiny event is an event where you meet a large group of people. You have to move from where you normally live so that you can go to a different location. This is a weekend function, the annual convention for the company, the World Team event, leadership school. These are called destiny events. And you go there because some of the stories will transform your life if you attend this meeting. Number 4, your success is directly linked to the number of people in your team who attend these events. Number 5, be the first to book your ticket. Book your ticket, make arrangements for transport and accommodation if it's a very far away place that you're going to take to. The last thing I want to discuss with you is this: faith, building self-belief. That's why I asked of us, how many of you have felt discouraged at some point or the other? If you have felt discouraged, trust me, you're on the right path. If this business was easy, everybody excited, you make director, world team without any challenges, without feeling discouraged, you're not serious. If you have gone through the process of feeling discouraged, sometimes if doubt enters your mind, trust me, it's part of the process of becoming successful in this business. Okay? I would like to share with you a few ideas that will help you overcome these challenges and discouragement. Remember, faith is when you ascend, the ascent of the intellect to the unseen. When your intellect believes in something you haven't seen yet, that is called faith, things hoped for. But when you put that into practice, it becomes belief. Self-belief happens when faith is put into action. Self-belief increases when you call a prospect, knowing that the prospect may say yes or no, but the idea is for you to expose the business to new people. Remember, a very important thing about our business is this: you are looking for people who are looking. And you will not just meet these people the first time you speak to the first 10 or 15 people. No. You have to go through a process where you meet people who say no, you meet people who discourage you, you meet people who don't want to get involved in this business. So don't worry when people tell you no. Just talk to people. Then the next thing is start creating dreams. Start with creating a dream or a vision of how you want the future to be. What does that mean? It means that you need to be able to take some time with the pen and paper, project your mind a year from now, 2 years from now. How do you want your life to look like? I think human beings are the only creatures that can do this. Animals cannot do it. Birds cannot do it. We, human beings, we're the only creatures who can do this. Sit down with a pen and paper, create a vision, a mental image of how you want your life to be. Put it on paper. Look for cuttings. Look for pictures of how you want your life to be. Then make sure that you actually see this on a daily basis. And then take action despite not physically seeing the goal. What does that mean? That, for example, if you're a senior manager, an executive manager, you're a director and you want to take the next step. For you to take the next step, you need a team of people. How do you get a team of people? Writing down a list of people. What do you do with it? Contacting or invite them to look at the business. Either one-on-one, a business presentation, a Zoom presentation, or a larger meeting where people are. Keep taking that action until you find the people who are interested in the business. Number 5, use the principle auto-suggestion. What does that mean? Faith comes by hearing. It simply means If you repeat to yourself something many, many times, eventually you begin to believe that what you're repeating will become true. That is how you develop belief. And the reason you need to do that is what you're seeing outside is not what you want to see. Or rather, what you're seeing in reality is not what you want to see. So for you to be able to create what you want to see in the future, you have to have auto-suggestions. Sometimes we call it self-talk. And I would suggest to all of you this. All of us have self-talk every single day on a continuous basis. If you doubt, start telling yourself this. Just repeat the word thank you for 3 minutes. Say thank you, thank you, thank you for 3 minutes. You will find that thoughts will begin to interrupt what you're saying, and take note of which thoughts are actually interfering with what you're saying internally. That will give you an idea of the thoughts that dominate your mind. Okay? So all of us talk to ourselves every single day and all the time, and pay attention to what you're telling yourself on a continuous basis, because that's where your success is. If you're aware of what is going on in your thoughts, then you can change what is going on in your thoughts. And that's why you need to read your goals every day, morning and evening, morning and evening. Why? Because in the morning, when you wake up, your brain is at what you call the alpha brainwave. That means it's at a slower vibration. In the evening, just before you go to bed, your brain also goes to alpha wave. Those 2 times is when your brain or your mind is very susceptible to suggestions. So read your goals every morning and every evening. Then increase knowledge of the area of the goal you want to achieve. If you want to become a director, find out what does a director need to do. What PV, how many people do they need to have? What kind of people are you looking for? If you're looking for hardworking people, it's very simple. Be hardworking yourself. If you're looking for people who read all the time, be a reader yourself. If you're looking for people who don't give excuses, don't give excuses yourself. The more you become like the people you're looking for, the more you're going to meet the people you're looking for. It's a very simple idea. I had Jim Rohn. The first time I heard it from Jim Rohn, he said, you attract yourself by the person you've become. If you want hardworking people, be hardworking. If you want positive people, have a positive mindset. If you want people who don't miss training, don't miss any training yourself. If you want somebody who sets goals, set goals yourself. If you keep doing that, you'll eventually meet these people who will help you grow your business. So to build self-belief, few things. 1, have your own personal goals and dreams. Number 2, make sure you put them in writing, have pictures that represent the dreams you want to do, review them every morning and evening, take action towards very simple things every day. Take the action that you want to, that you need to take every day. And in our business, it's talking to people. The more people you talk to, the more you increase the chances of the people who are going to join your business. Our business follows a very simple law called the law of averages. If you speak to 20 people, you'll get 2 or 3 who are interested. But the better you become at this, the better you increase your averages. You will reach a stage where actually if you speak to 10, 1 or 2 are going to join the business because of your level of belief and because of your skill. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are the few things Betty and I wanted to share with you this evening. We really appreciate you taking time to spend with us. The month of September is just finished. We are now in the new month. Set new goals for the month of October on three aspects of your business. Number 1, personal PV. Number 2, personal sponsoring. Number 3, the group PV. These simple steps, these simple ideas, 3 things only in our business: personal sponsoring, personal PV, and group PV, the amount of PV you want to generate with your team. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We really appreciate you spending time with us. Oh, sorry, before I end, something about the events. If you're in East Africa, the convention is going to be in Dar es Salaam, Milimani, I think Milimani Convention Center on the 26th. If you're in East Africa, make sure you've booked your ticket, make arrangements for accommodation, transport, and all that. It will change your life. If you're in Southern Africa, the convention is on the 19th. Is very close to where Betty and I live. We are having our convention in Pretoria. Yes, I see Ivo Jok from Uganda saying he's going to be in Dar es Salaam. Congratulations. If you're in West Africa, they are having their convention for, I think, different days because of the number of people. If I have my phone, let me just check the ones in Nigeria. They have different, just one moment, please. Okay, if you are in Nigeria, in Benin City is on the 8th of October. If you are in Oshogbo near Lagos is on the 15th. Abuja is on the 10th of October. Lagos is Team 1, 3, and 4 on the 19th of October. Lagos Team 2 is on the 20th of October, and Owerri is on the 12th of October. So whatever region you're in, make sure you book your ticket, get your team to book their ticket, and attend this convention. Thank you very much. Good night, and God bless.